Hello and welcome to the Ice Guys. This is the show that takes you into the world of the National Hockey League. Every game, every day, from a betting perspective. With pro sports handicappers, Ian Cameron, Alex P. Smith, and various guests from the world of hockey and sports betting. And now, here's your host, Ian Cameron.
Welcome to the Ice Guys, Sunday, October 20th. Ian Cameron, Alex B. Smith with you, ready to break down the 3 Sunday games, and we will also talk Monday's lone game on the NHL slate, which is Tampa Bay and Toronto, and we will not be on tomorrow. If you missed the post on the Twitter X account, we will not have a show tomorrow. We'll be off, and we'll be back on Tuesday. And Tuesday's show will be 1 hour earlier than normal. We'll be starting the show on Tuesday with the massive 16-game slate with all 32 teams in action. We'll start the Tuesday show at 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central, 10 a.m. Pacific. And, of course, that means we'll just be able to get the card out, get the plays out quicker, and also have a little bit more downtime, if you will, between the daily show and the Betcast, which, of course, is starting earlier at 6 p.m. Eastern for Frozen Frenzy. So no show Monday. Tuesday, the show will start 1 hour earlier, 1 p.m. Eastern, and then we'll be on live for the Betcast at 6 p.m. Eastern for the Frozen Frenzy. The second year that they have done this, it was a great experiment last year. I'm glad they're doing it once again this season. And we will be there for the entirety of the Frozen Frenzy Tuesday night, 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central, right from the first game, Flyers Capitals, all the way to the end of the last game, which starts at 11 Eastern, which is Kings and Golden Knights. So join us for what should be a fun, exciting, hopefully profitable night of live betting NHL hockey. If this is your first Betcast, you're going to be addicted to it after you join us on Tuesday night. It's a lot of fun. 6 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Central. Alex, I know you can't wait either. Oh, you're muted.
Oh, yeah, we were talking off air.
You can wait.
We were talking off air though about how we were kind of sizing up everything and kind of leading up, and this is one of those events where you plan to bet around. It reminds me a lot of like March Madness, the first 2 days of March Madness, where you look at, and we're gonna talk about it today. There's 3 games today, 1 game tomorrow, heading into this big massive slate. Of course, we can't rush into things, being that every team's playing in all in. Like 15-minute, 30-minute intervals. We still have to take it like a regular betting day, but it does give us an advantage, especially now with every book having widely open and available lines on everything. Now, I've noticed this in the first week and a half. We haven't had any trouble getting 3-way lines early. I've seen first period totals up early. So now Monday, we actually have a day to really kind of cap and look at anything we like pregame. We have a full 24 hours to do it, and then still size everything up to wait to get everything lined up for our live betting for that night. So I love that the way the schedule kind of staggers out gives us a perfect opportunity to strategize and set up betting for a big night like the Frozen Frenzy on Tuesday.
Yeah, it's basically games every 15 minutes. I love that. From 6 p.m. Eastern all the way until, I believe, 9:30 is going to be the last of the 15-minute staggered start times. Then you have a 10 Eastern game, and then you have the 11 Eastern game for ESPN, which is Los Angeles and Vegas, because they're doing a triple header. Yeah, the staggered times go till 9:30. There's going to be a game every 15 minutes from 6 p.m. Eastern to 9:30 p.m. Eastern with Pittsburgh, Calgary. And then you've got San Jose, Anaheim at 10 Eastern, and then Los Angeles, Vegas at 11 Eastern. So that's the way the schedule works. Love it. It's great. I wish they'd do it more than just once a year. That's the next step. Why are we only doing this once a year?
This should be twice a year, and this definitely should be done. We said it that Saturday before the Super Bowl would be the perfect day to do it.
Yeah, it sure would be. Alex, I'm going to let you start with the Saturday slate rather than me rambling on all the time at the beginning. But the recap, wherever you want to go with Saturday's card. It was a busy one. It was a big card. What did you want to talk about, and what game stuck out to you?
Draw season in full force. We saw 5 games go to overtime, and I was really, really happy because that was it was close enough, and I'm mad, of course, kicking myself now, wishing it was a best bet. But Montreal and the New York Islanders, that was a full unit play for me on the draw at plus 390.
I had a piece too. Great.
They get closed somewhere around 3:30 and easily cash in. Game goes to a shootout. Islanders get the 4-3 win. So was really happy to see that. Unfortunate big loss for my Hawks. They lost 4-2 to Buffalo. Buffalo played a great game, but this is just now getting to be sad to watch with Arvid Soderblom. Like, he's played 2 really good games in net and has still come up empty for it. You know, the goals that he gave up, they weren't all completely his fault. So now we gone from this guy being terrible to now this guy just being snake bit and just being a bad luck kind of a goalie. And it doesn't change much on my rankings because it can't, because I posted. Now he's 7-35-5 in 52 games with the Hawks. Like, this guy cannot win with this team for whatever reason, whether he has a good game or not. It's now beyond his control, it seems, at this point. And another disappointing effort for the Hawks offense. You know, you go from a night of having 3 power play goals and looking like things are running and clicking to now all of a sudden you're only scoring 2 against a Buffalo team that was kind of trying to figure things out on their own. And I just, it's not a good sign with the Hawks. This offense can't be inconsistent. And like I said, I still don't believe that at this point it's personnel related. I believe that's coaching related. To see this kind of inconsistency with the offense. Minnesota with a 3-1 win over Columbus. Who thought that this Minnesota team would be 3-0-2 right now? Through the first 5 games, I certainly didn't see that coming at all. Did miss out on that first period over and the correct scores, but did catch that first period puck line. So, like I said, I thought that at least could come out there and get the lead. Didn't think they were going to sustain it and hold on and get the win there for that. And just kind of looking at the rest of the board. Those are really the biggest takeaways. Edmonton Dallas. That game was just absolutely infuriating and a misleading score of 4-1, because that game did not play like a 4-1 game. It played like a 2-1 playoff game. Just absolutely tight. And we talked about the trend that seemed to be growing with the second period. Both teams to score. That doesn't come through either. Everything essentially coming in except for 1 goal in that last period. So Dallas, I don't know what the hell's going on with Dallas in these first periods. I mean, they were just absolutely. They only had 1 shot the first 15 minutes of play.
Very fortunate. Ottinger and hung in there, and Edmonton couldn't finish in that first period. Keep them in it. Yep.
Yeah, but that's a team that has way too much offense to be fucking around and doing absolutely nothing in the first 20 minutes of games. I don't understand what's going on with that.
Yeah, that is. And it's funny. Last year they played a game Saturday afternoon, those same 2 teams, Edmonton, Dallas. And I remember it was scoreless after the first period in that game as well. And then the floodgates opened. I think it was a 3-3 second period, if I'm not mistaken, in that game from last year. And I thought we were going to get something similar. I didn't post it, but I took a small second period, both teams to score, and second period live over, and it was dead on arrival pretty much. On that second period. So that was definitely unfortunate to see that happen. But Dallas, the good news is I had Dallas team total over pregame 3, and I had the Dallas money line. So they get the win. I figured they'd be, didn't look like it early that they wanted it, but they found a way. Edmonton couldn't capitalize early, and Dallas found a way to win that. Ottawa, how about a nice impressive win for them against Tampa Bay, 5-4, outscore the Lightning. Not a very good defensive game from the Lightning, very sloppy. Got into penalty trouble as well, and they end up on the wrong side of a 5-4 loss to the Ottawa Senators there in that one. Nashville, what's wrong with them? They keep losing. Another loss, 0-5 now on the season for this Predators team as Detroit beats them for the second time in a 1-week span, 5-2. That was a really good spot to expect Nashville to get off the schneid, and the fact they didn't now, I've said all along through this Nashville winless start, we're not pushing the panic button. It's too damn early. There's a lot of talent here, but that's concerning. That was a spot that was really in their favor and can't get it done as Detroit. And Saros not playing well to begin the year. He needs to be better. This has not been a great start for UC Saros. He's letting in shit that he normally doesn't when he's on his game. And that's something that's got to be a little bit alarming here for Burnett, for Barry Trotz and the crew there for the Nashville Predators as well. Florida, this was a great hockey game. Vegas and Florida. Back and forth it went. Florida with the 4-3 overtime win. We get the first "Let's go home, baby" from Steve Goldstein this season on the Panthers broadcast. It's one of the better overtime calls. I like it. And, of course, they get the overtime winner, the Florida Panthers, courtesy of Gustav Forsling. I think one of the most improved defensemen in the NHL the last calendar year. An unbelievable rise, meteoric, in fact, the way his game has improved. He's become one of the better defensemen on that team and in the league.
Definitely,
quite honestly, with the way he's played. He gets the overtime winner for the Panthers, and now he's finding out he's got some offense to his game. He's very good in his own end, always was, especially with the Panthers. But now he's figuring out, hey, I've got a little skill in my arsenal here, in my toolbox, and he's starting to use it here for the Florida Panthers. Great win for them, 4-3 against Vegas. Vegas still winless on this road trip. I know they get a point out of that overtime loss, but that's now Washington, Tampa, and Florida. 3 losses here for Vegas, and the road struggles of last year, they've continued and carried over so far into this year. One of my highlights on the card last night was Washington. We took them plus 160, big underdog, and they come through. They blew a couple of leads, but they end up getting the 6-5 win. What an incredible night for Tom Wilson. He has gotten off to a phenomenal start offensively for the Washington Capitals. A 2-goal night last night, including the game winner, 3 points on the night. Very, very solid performance from him for sure. Not exactly a clinic from either goalie, Thompson or Markstrom, but one more save made by Thompson and a 6-5 win for Washington in that one. A very solid. I'll tell you what, Washington works hard. They don't always work well, and they had some gaffes as far as that's concerned, but they do work hard. There is no question about that. And I think when you look at this Washington team, that's going to win them a lot of games. And we saw that definitely on display last night. Quickly, also, one of the games of the night was the Rangers and the Leafs. This is a bit of a misleading final score, 4-1 Rangers. This was the Igor Shesterkin show. The Leafs weren't overly angry or pissed about the result after the game. They actually played a very good game. They probably outplayed the Rangers for extended stretches, but when you've got Igor Shesterkin, you've got a guy that can steal games for you. And I don't know if he outstole it. It's not like the Rangers were terrible. The Rangers had their moments, and the Rangers played well at times, but I think the flow of the play was more toward the Leafs in that game, and it was Igor Shesterkin doing what he is capable of doing. And 34 saves on 35 shots, 4-1 win for the Rangers in that game. Matthews got their only goal. Lafreniere had a very good game. So did Kreider. He got 2 goals, including an empty netter to seal it away. Artemi Panarin remains on fire as well for the New York Rangers. So a very solid win. They're a dangerous team. And when Igor Shesterkin plays like that, you can see why they're a cup contender and they could come out of the East. And certainly they've got the motivation to want to get out of the East after how close they got last year, losing to the eventual Stanley Cup champions, the Florida Panthers. But absolute Rembrandt there, Alex, for Igor Shesterkin last night, because the Leafs had some golden looks in that game, and he just shut the door constantly.
And every time he has a great game like this, now we have to ask the question: how much money is this man really worth in net? Because we know where the ceiling is being set now. 8.25 seems to be the limit that they're trying to give goaltenders, but that's much lower than what he's asking for. So, when you have performances like that can back it up, that's the biggest thing. If you think you're worth more, you got to back it up with your play. So far, he's been able to do that.
There's no doubt he has, and he's playing with that. He's playing to push that next contract to as high a money value as there is. So, it's dangerous. He's probably the best. To me, he is the best goalie in this league right now. And that is no disrespect to Bobrovsky and any other goalie you can think of in this league right now. Vasilevsky even, but he's better than those guys, better than anybody in this league. Because there's no one that can steal a game and just turn a game on its ear right now and take it from you, snatch it from you, like Igor Shesterkin can right now for this New York Rangers team, and he did it again last night. Vancouver, very solid 3-0 shutout. Philly had nothing in their tank, really. Vancouver took advantage. Nice 3-0 win. Back-to-back wins, so the Canucks starting to get their game going. 3-1 Minnesota. They beat Columbus, as Alex alluded to. I thought we were going to get the whole enchilada with Montreal and the New York Islanders, like the whole clean sweep of that game. We had the over by Fecta, both of them cashed. We had Montreal team total over 2.5, that cashed. But I also had a little Montreal money line, and unfortunately they fell in a shootout to the New York Islanders. A very long shootout, took forever to finish, but eventually the Islanders put it away 4-3. it was actually a very solid game from Caden Primo. Much better, much improved from him because the Islanders really had almost 40 shots, and he made some big saves to get it to overtime late in the third period. So it's definitely a step in the right direction for Primo. St. Louis, very impressive. I know actually they did have the rest advantage, but still to beat Carolina 4-3, very solid win for the St. Louis Blues. No question about that. Buffalo gets the 4-2 win, as Alex talked about, against Chicago. What a game Boston and Utah had. I lose the over by Fectas, but I also did have Utah. I did take the draw in this game a little bit. Utah's we got a nice little draw team going with Utah. They've been in a lot of overtime hockey so far this year, and their game against Boston goes to OT as well, 2-1. And didn't I just talk about how I thought, wow, he's really improved on that blue line? He's keep an eye on this guy, and he scores the overtime winner for Utah last night. Michael Kesselring gets the overtime winner for the Utah Hockey Club, and they get a 2-1 win over the Boston Bruins to remain undefeated at 2-0 this season at Delta Center, their new home. And then the final game of the night, definitely not as many goals as I thought there would be, but Seattle, very solid performance. They get the 2-1 win in overtime. Don't look now, the Kraken starting to heat up. And I like the way they're playing. When they get goaltending like that from Decord, I think offensively they're certainly playing a more exciting brand of hockey. Like I said, there's a chance for Seattle to have a nice season and maybe playoffs potentially. Again, it's early, but there's a lot of nice signs I'm seeing from Seattle. And for Calgary, you knew it was going to happen eventually. They lose their first game of the season last night against Seattle. All right, let's get to Sunday now. We've got 3 games on the Sunday slate, beginning with the one afternoon game taking place today, Pittsburgh and Winnipeg. Winnipeg Jets minus 160 to minus 165. Home favorites, 6 the total in this game. Winnipeg undefeated. Look, all the credit to them. Great start. Absolutely pounding the San Jose Sharks on Friday night. 8-3 beatdown over San Jose. We'll see how they fare here tonight. 4-0 start to the year, taking on a Pittsburgh team that is coming off a 4-1 loss to the Carolina Hurricanes. One thing I will say about this spot here for the Penguins, though, they have not lost 2 in a row yet this year. Penguins have done a good job bouncing back after a defeat. They lost to the Rangers, got blanked 6-0. They respond the very next night. They go to Detroit. They beat the Red Wings. They lose 4-2 in Toronto. They respond in the next game. They beat Montreal 6-3. So they are 2-0 off a loss this year. So we'll see how this one plays out. But, believe it or not, I don't think I'm going to get involved. I don't want to step in front of the Jets until they lose. But I'm not laying minus 160. And if you ask me right now, if I had to bet this game from a money line standpoint, I'd actually lean Pittsburgh. They haven't lost 2 in a row. They're getting a nice price, plus 140 in this game. I don't think this Winnipeg red-hot start is going to go on indefinitely when it's all said and done. And I worry when a team is coming off that kind of a blowout win. Just everything came too easily for them against San Jose. They were up, 4-1 after the first period, and it was 5-1 by the early part of the second. Sometimes when you have an easy game like that, it starts to get into your own head that, it's pretty easy some nights. And that's when sometimes the next game, dose of reality arrives. But I don't think I'm going to bet Pittsburgh, but I will lean in their direction here, given the price and the fact they haven't lost 2 in a row yet this year so far. As far as goaltenders go for this game, and as far as the total is concerned, now Winnipeg finally did see a game go over against San Jose. Every game had gone under before that. Hellebuck Jari is expected to be the goaltending matchup for this game tonight. We'll see how it goes. I think Pittsburgh on the road, if I'm not mistaken, the Toronto game stayed under. The other ones went over. The Detroit game went over the total on the road, and then the Montreal game did as well. So we'll see how this one goes. I'm on the fence. Winnipeg's an under team. Pittsburgh's an over team. I'm going to have to bet the over in some form. First period and or full game, though, if it's Jari in that. Because Jari is a complete mess right now. And even Mike Sullivan said we're not getting best right now, which is why Blomqvist played the game against Carolina on Friday night. But do they give Jari a chance? If they do, I might have to look at an over. But as of now, I haven't moved on this game. What do you think here, Alex? Penguins, Jets.
Yeah, first period over would be in play if it's Jari starting. Other than that, this would be a pass for me. Like I said, short card and not it's not a game that I just really kind of care about. So it might end up being a pass. But if it is a first period over, I will tweet that out and make that official.
Yeah, no doubt. That's the way I stand. As far as the props go, I think Perfetti heating up. You like to see that. I think that he's definitely someone you could go with for the Jets. Like I say, for Pittsburgh, I'd take a shot with the likes of, Drew O'Connor, who continues to be someone that can step up and chip in offensively for this Penguins team. So someone to consider for sure as far as props go. All right, the other two games tonight are at both Sunday night games in prime time. We've got Colorado, San Jose. Colorado minus 280 road favorites, 6.5 being the total in this one. The Avs, sigh of relief. It sure looked that way from winning that game against San Jose. Not San Jose, against Anaheim at home the other night. It was not pretty. They give up the lead in the final, 30 seconds. For Anaheim forces overtime, but great individual effort by Nathan McKinnon to get the victory. The injury report is really mounting here for San Jose, and you worry about that moving forward. I mean, they're already without Leo Carlson, not Leo Carlson, but Macklin Celebrini. William Eklund is also day-to-day right now. They've got some injuries on the blue line. Colorado, of course, is not going to have any sympathy because Devon Taves has been out, Drouin has been out, Lekkonen's been out. Nichushkin, apparently, reports are he's going to return to the team at some point. It's just going to be a question of when moving forward here for this Colorado Avalanche team. We know offensively they're still capable, and you look at the Sharks, not pretty when you're giving up 8 goals the other night to the Winnipeg Jets. We don't have goalies confirmed really in any of the games for today as of yet. We have Georgiev and Vanacek projected as the starting goaltenders for these two teams tonight with the Sharks and the Avs. Probably will be Vanacek. It was a rough night for Blackwood. Vanacek came in and cleaned that game up, so I could see Vanacek being the goalie for San Jose, and it probably is Georgiev. Like Jared Bednar is stuck with Georgiev through struggles and bad games and losses. Why would he change course now after a win, the first win of the season? So it probably will be Georgiev. If it ain't broke, don't fix it, guys. That's basically where I'm going with this game. Every game this year with the Colorado Avalanche, what has cashed for them? The first period over, the full game over. Until that changes, perfect 5-0 in their games. The first period over and the full game over for this Colorado Avalanche team. So the one fear I have about this matchup, though, is can San Jose do enough for me to get there? But like I said, 5 full game overs, 5 first period overs have cashed in Colorado's first 5 games. So if it ain't broke, don't fix it. I'm on the over by Fecta here. Alex, what do you think? Avs Sharks.
Yeah, I like the over by Fecta, but waiting for in-game prices. 6.5 is a little steep, like you said. With San Jose, offense a little bit challenged with no Celebrini. I would try and look for a 6 at a cheaper price and look for a 1.5 closer to a plus price. So I will be on the over by Fecta, but just waiting for better prices in game.
Which is not a bad idea. Ross Colton, Casey Middlestat. I think both of them are good looks as far as Colorado for props tonight. As far as getting on the score sheet, Ross Colton, I think, continues to occupy the top line spot beside McKinnon and Rantanen. So there's always value there. Middlestat. Logan O'Connor's up on the second line, it looks like. So could be some value on that side of the equation. I agree with the chat. Zetterlund is probably someone you got to look at with some of these injuries. Looks like Daniil Gushchin, by the way, is going to get a little bit of an opportunity here with this San Jose team. He ended up, by the way, having an opportunity to play the other night against Winnipeg, and it looks like he's going to get the chance here to play on the second line tonight for this San Jose team with Wenberg and Barclay Goodrow. So keep an eye on that. So Daniil Gushchin, there could be a little bit of a value there as far as that's concerned. And Wenberg and Goodrow on that second line for San Jose, yes, value, but they've got to produce, right? And it's not always easy for San Jose to be able to do that. But definitely, there's a good game as far as props. There's guys that are up the lineup, and you're getting great prices. Just 1 or 2 of them score, and you're going to have a nice little profit from it, whether it's Barclay Goodrow, whether it's Alex Wenberg, Gushchin, Zetterlund for San Jose, Colton for Colorado, Middlestat for Colorado, Logan O'Connor and Kovalenko along that second line as well. There's probably some value for them. So it's a nice little player prop value game if you sprinkle along these guys that are in that top 6 mix and not exactly priced like it either, which is why the value comes into the equation as to why there is value with those player props for this game tonight. All right, LA, Anaheim, the third and final game for this Sunday night slate. We've got LA minus 180 road favorites, 6 the total. this is a good rivalry. It always even when the team sucked at times, and LA's had some up and down years the last few, and Anaheim's obviously had a rough go the last few years. But now, Anaheim's getting better. It makes this a better rivalry now with the Ducks improving. This is a tough spot for LA. All that time on the East Coast, all that time in the Eastern time zone traveling wise through that road trip that they've had. And it was a pretty long one. When you think of the fact it started over a week ago in Buffalo, October the 10th, 10 days ago. Then you went to Boston, you went to Ottawa, you went to Toronto, you went to Montreal. So that's a 5-game road trip. Now you return all the way back to the West Coast here for this stop in Anaheim, and you go to Vegas again, and one last road game before you finally get home to San Jose, and then you're at San Jose. One of these deals again where a long-ass road trip, and the schedule makers put the Kings back home for one measly game after that long road trip, and then they're on the road again. They can't even stay in their own bed for 2 games in a row. It's just crazy how we see this play out so many times during the course of the season, but Anaheim off a tough loss to Colorado. They did get outplayed, outchanced, outshot. They really had to rely on Dostal because it was 49-20 for Colorado, the shots in that game. But Dostal did keep them in it. We'll see if he gets the start here. He's played, a lot of the games lately. I'm weary of Greg Cronin pulling the old ripcord and deciding to go with James Reimer in one of these upcoming games, who, of course, is the backup currently for the Anaheim Ducks with John Gibson, of course, still on the IR. So we'll keep an eye on this. But like I said, if it is Dostal, I'll be interested in Anaheim here as a live home underdog. It's a very tricky scheduling spot here for LA. An LA team that, yes, did get off the schneid their last road game against Montreal with the 4-1 win, but a team that's not really played great hockey to begin the year, 2-3. There's starting to become less of a gap between these two teams than we have seen in years past. So I'm waiting on the Dostal confirmation. If it is him, that's going to be a green light to move for me on Anaheim. If it's Reimer instead, we'll rethink things when it comes to this game. Alex, what do you think here? Kings, Ducks.
So I grabbed a small bit of the draw at plus 380, and like you, I'm waiting for a confirmation of Dostal, and then I'll be grabbing Ducks at a plus price too, and I'll be trying to grab that as fast as possible because I believe a Dostal confirmation will move this number. 150s, 155s won't be around. Those will probably be more like 135s, 140s. So we'll be on Ducks if it's Dostal in that, but also have the draw already in pocket plus 380 available at FanDuel.
All right, indeed, good stuff. You know what I'll do? I'm going to be on. You know what I will say, regardless of who's in net for Anaheim, I will take Anaheim team total over 2.5 because the team total, them going to over 2.5 with their team total, is not going to be impacted by who's in net. All you have to worry about is scoring 3 goals, which I think they can do. So I will lock that in pregame. I'll add the money line if it's Dostal. I think I will just do the team total if it's Reimer in net for the Anaheim Ducks. That's going to be the approach here because, again, that's the beauty of betting the team total. You don't have to worry about what the team does defensively. You don't have to worry about their goaltending. All you have to do is worry about them scoring the 3 and/or 4 goals you need to cash the team total. So Anaheim team total over, official right now. I will be on that 100%. I'll add the Ducks money line if Dostal's in net. As far as props go, Byfield's been moved up to Kopitar and Kempe on the top line, so good value there. Fiala starting to heat up for the LA Kings. You could look in that direction. Anaheim. I'm going to stick with Cutter Gauthier one more time, getting another crack with Carlson and Killorn to maybe get off the schneid. Robbie Fabry worth a look. Troy Terry is absolutely someone you got to bet right now. 3 games in a row with a goal for the Anaheim Ducks. He has been very, very good to begin the year. On top of his game, producing offensively, getting involved. And I like the way he is. He's become one of the veterans, believe it or not, on this team. Troy Terry, and he's really playing with that assertiveness like a veteran should. So been very impressed with Troy Terry. I think the price on him is absolutely incredible tonight. I'm kind of giving it away, but plus 330 at FanDuel. We might be revisiting that Troy Terry prop when it comes to later in the show for yours truly. That was definitely one of the goal props that stuck out to me. He scored in 3 straight games, and you're getting north of plus 300 with him to score a goal here tonight. For the Anaheim Ducks in this one. All right, so that's the Sunday card, but we're not done yet. We are going to actually tee up the Monday night game the only Monday night game taking place in the NHL. And because, again, we have no Ice Guys show tomorrow, I will reiterate that, no show tomorrow. So we will talk about the Monday night game right here, right now. It's the Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. We've got Toronto minus 140, home favorites, 6.5 being the total in this game. Now, for the people in the U.S., this is just, if you're in the Lightning market, you'll get the game locally. If you're outside the Tampa Bay market in the U.S., you'll just go to ESPN Plus or Center Ice or whatever you use with your provider. If you're in Canada, this is the Amazon Prime Monday Night Hockey Game of the Week. So if you're in Canada, you got to watch on Amazon Prime. That's where you'll find it. The new Monday Night Hockey package for this one with the Lightning and the Leafs. I was impressed with their production last week, the first game they did for the Canadian viewers on Amazon Prime, Pittsburgh and Montreal. It was very good production value, I thought. So hats off to Amazon Prime. And they made the right call with play-by-play. You can't do much better than John Forsland. I liked it. It was very good for their debut last week.
The standard is quite low for production on television these days when it comes to showing a hockey game, because some of these new regional networks, and I can speak for the one that I watch, CHSN, has been absolutely brutal. But it isn't just them. There's a few of them, and I don't want to get on a rant about it. No. I mean, I don't know. Have you noticed some of these networks that literally don't have commercials now? Like you may not see. I don't know. You might not see it because you have a different kind of feed. But if you're watching on Center Ice, you're watching a game, and all of a sudden it just seems like, especially if I'm working, I think the sound just goes off completely, and I look over. It's like, oh no, it's just like not my TV's frozen or anything. It's just that there's no commercials because it's some random regional network now. So if the production values have dropped a lot for some of these games.
That's probably going to drop further, especially with news that Bally Sports networks are going to become FanDuel Sports networks. So
yeah,
I wonder what that's going to mean for their production values with that. But there we go. Sports betting companies now owning networks. So there you go. That's the world we live in these days. Crazy world. This is a really interesting game. I think with the price I'm seeing right now, I'm tempted by the Lightning at plus 120. I really would have liked Tampa more, though, if they had won on Saturday. Not that if they had won. Actually, I like that they're coming off a loss to Ottawa. It's that I don't like that Toronto's off the loss. If Toronto had beaten the New York Rangers, I'd really like the Lightning in this spot. But now with the Leafs off that loss to the Rangers, I think, and look, it's not like they have Matthews and Marner and Nylander. They don't really love the Lightning too much, and the Lightning don't like this. It's a nice rivalry because they've had playoff history. 2 of the last 3 years these teams have faced each other in the Stanley Cup playoffs. It's a division rivalry. So I get the feeling Toronto brings it, and that might keep me off the Lightning. But from this price standpoint, I've said it, I'm going to be looking for good prices and reasons to bet Tampa this year because I think they're better. They're undervalued for the first time. You got to assume we're going to see Vasilevsky. I can't see John Cooper not starting him. It is back-to-back for both of these teams, obviously. They're the only teams playing tomorrow, but they will both be in action Tuesday, of course, like every other team during the Frozen Frenzy. Toronto's in Columbus. Tampa Bay's in New Jersey. So Tampa Bay's got probably the tougher of the back-to-back than Toronto does, but I can't see them saving Vasilevsky for New Jersey and not playing him against your division rival and a team you have some recent playoff history against. So I got to think it's going to be Vasilevsky here against Toronto on Monday night. Joe Woll is closing in on a return. Whispers are it could be as early as this game, or it could be Tuesday night in Columbus. But if not, probably back to Stoley, the goalie. Stolar's in between the pipes for the Toronto Maple Leafs here in this game. But I still lean Lightning. I do. I just wish I had liked the spot in this game more for Tampa had Toronto lost Saturday as opposed to won against the New York Rangers. And look, Toronto, don't be fooled by that Rangers score. They played well in a losing effort. It was a losing effort where they played well. They got stoned by Shesterkin. They probably carried the play to the Rangers more often than not in that game. They played well enough to win. It's not like, whoa, what happened? 4-1, bad game for the Leafs. No, they had a good game. They just couldn't solve Igor Shesterkin in that one. So lean Tampa, not sure I get involved. Plus, I want to see exactly the lineups and the goalies. I will be on the draw, though, I think, in this game. We've seen a lot of close games with the Lightning and the Leafs, including the regular season. I could see more of the same here between these two teams on Monday night. I'm just looking at the recent history here with the Lightning and the Leafs. Yes, that's exactly what I thought. 5 of the last 8 meetings. Now, some of those were in the playoffs, too. but 5 of the last 8 meetings overall, playoffs and regular season, have gone to overtime between the Leafs and the Lightning. So I like the draw. I'll definitely be on the draw. I'm leaning Tampa Bay, but we're going to wait until things get a little more clarity gets there with the goalie situation and the lineups. Alex, Monday Night Hockey. What do you think here, Tampa Bay, Toronto?
Yeah, I'll have a draw ticket as well. I'm seeing plus 370 is available now at FanDuel, so I will have that in pocket. But I'm looking more toward the totals, depending on who's in net. If we get the number one, then keep in mind too, the Frozen Frenzy, like that's literally just an American television event. So it's not going to be where they're waiting to save a guy because of the Frozen Frenzy or anything like that. So that we have to kind of look at that as well as it's a day where everybody's playing. It's not necessarily anything special regarding which goalie gets which day. So I'm saying that to say if we get Vasilevsky and Stolars, both number ones in this matchup on the first of back-to-backs, then I would look under in this spot. If they decide to roll with Johansson or a Wall or a Hildeby, then I would be more tempted to look toward an over. So definitely want to wait and see, and we will post that tomorrow. Anything we add on this game, of course, we post it on the Patreon page. But I just have the draw for now, but leaning toward the total depending on who the goalies are.
Yeah, I'm with you. Draw for sure, and we'll see what the goalie situation is before we get involved with the totals and or Tampa. But like I said, I like this price with Tampa, but again, we'll have to wait and see. And like I said, I don't love that the Leafs are coming off a loss. And believe it or not, Toronto, if you look at the recent meetings, Toronto, especially at home, done pretty reasonably well with the Lightning. Although Tampa did win the last 2 meetings in April last year, but like I said, I do still lean Tampa. But we'll see if I get involved with it. I definitely like the draw in that game as well. All right, Lightning and Leafs. There you go. That's a wrap. Shutout. By the way, as far as props go, we'll see about the Leaf lineup. But there's still value with Nyes. We'll see if McMahon's in the lineup. I hear Max Pacioretty might be drawing into the lineup. He's been a healthy scratch the last 2 games, kind of a load management deal. But they lost last night. They had trouble finishing. Maybe get a little more finish in your lineup. Put in a Max Pacioretty tomorrow night. I could see the Chief, Craig Berube, making that move. If Pacioretty's back in the lineup, and he's going to be amped to play well because you want to give the coach a reason to keep you in the lineup. So from that standpoint, Pacioretty, if he plays and does get back into the lineup, which I think he might be back in the lineup, he might be worth a look for a prop tomorrow night, goal prop. Shout out to everyone in the chat. Hit the like button. We appreciate it very much. Reminder, patreon.com/iceguys, just $10 per month. Everything there, all the stats, goalie charts, totals charts, power ratings. We've got the Ice Guys Betcasts exclusive coming up later in the year. Daily betting cards, sides, totals, and player props posted each and every day. And your subscription to the Patreon page helps support the show. $10 per month, patreon.com/iceguys.
Also, check out the Ice Guys store, iceguys.myspreadshop.com. You've got 3 days left to save 20% off anything in the store. Hit the redeem button at the top of the page, put everything in your cart, and when you check out, 20% will be taken off of your total order before you check on out. So take advantage of that. 3 days left for 20% off at iceguys.myspreadshop.com.
Absolutely. Make sure you check that out and take advantage of it for sure. Get to that Ice Guys store and check out the great merch there. All right, we've got Bargain Bin Special of the night and best bets coming up in just a moment, right after we hear from our great Ice Guys sponsors.
Support for the Ice Guys podcast is provided by Boston Hemp Incorporated, Manscaped, Power Play Sportsbook, Raise Your Game, Tailgaters Sofa, and a big thank you to all that subscribe to the Ice Guys Patreon page. Everyone loves a perfect pair. Bacon and eggs. Thunder and lightning. Mario and Luigi. A hot dog with fries. Ian and Alex B. That's right. Everyone loves a perfect pair. So why not pair up your game nights with Boston Hemp? From exotic flower to concentrates and edible products. You'd be hard-pressed to find a better pairing than Boston Hemp and hockey. Check them out today at bostonhempinc.com. That's bostonhempinc.com. Boston Hemp Incorporated, the official smoke sponsor of the Ice Guys. Void where prohibited by law. Not available outside of the United States. Must be 21 or over to obtain products. Check your local regulations to see if Boston Hemp is available in your area.
All right, make sure you check out all our great sponsors and, of course, Boston Hemp Inc. as well. 20% off using the promo code IceGuys at bostonhempinc.com. All right, bargain bin special of the night. 3 games to choose from, Alex. What do you like?
Yeah, looking at the early game, Pittsburgh and Winnipeg, and I'm looking at Drew O'Connor, plus 480 anytime goal scorer. You can grab that price at FanDuel. I also posted that on Twitter as well, so everybody should be able to get that before the game starts. It's 2 p.m. Puck drop. But looking at Drew O'Connor, Pittsburgh Penguins, plus 480 anytime goal scorer. It's my bargain bin special for the Sunday afternoon.
There you go, a little matinee, a winner before dinner, hopefully on this Sunday. Drew O'Connor, great price. I like it. That's part of that'll be on my player prop card for sure. Drew O'Connor, Pittsburgh, for Alex B. Smith with his bargain bin special of the night. My bargain bin special of the night, cat's out of the bag already. I mentioned it already. How are we going to pass up taking someone at plus 330 when they've scored in 3 consecutive games? And that's what we have with Troy Terry for the Anaheim Ducks. That is what we're going to lock in for bargain bin special of the night. Troy Terry, Anaheim Ducks, plus 330. Again, he has scored in 3 straight games, and I think he has a chance to make it 4 here tonight against the LA Kings. So Troy Terry, Anaheim, plus 330 for my bargain bin special of the night. All right, best bets to wrap up the show. Alex, what do you like for best bet?
Yeah, light card tonight, but we're going to take a shot here with draw season. We're going with Anaheim, LA. Like I say, you can get as high as plus 380 with that draw. So I'll go Ducks Kings. Like I said, even with Dosal starting, there's no reason why this game couldn't go past regulation. Like I said, this is a bit of a rivalry. 2 teams don't like each other, and I can see this one maybe going past 60 minutes. So at plus 380, we'll go Ducks and Kings draw plus 380. My best bet for Sunday.
All right, there we go. LA Anaheim draw plus 380 for Alex P. Smith with his best bet for this Sunday NHL card. My best bet for this one, I'm just going back and forth with that Colorado and LA. You know what? Actually, we went with Colorado over the other night. I really do like it. I'm going to go Anaheim team total instead for best bet. I really like that Anaheim team total. And with this bet, I don't have to worry about who's in net for the Ducks. Obviously, I'm going to tack on the money line too if it's Dostal. I just have not a little bit, maybe even a lot more faith in him than Reimer. But if it's Reimer, the team total is still, worth betting because you don't have to worry about what he does in net. It's all about just scoring 3 goals, which I think this Anaheim team on home ice is capable of. Again, against an LA team that, look, has been suspect defensively at times. We saw them give up 6 and 8 goals to Ottawa and Toronto earlier on this road trip. So I think Anaheim can get to 3 goals tonight. Great number, great price on this. Anaheim Ducks, quack, 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 quack. Anaheim Ducks team total over 2.5, minus 112 for my best bet here for this Sunday NHL card. That is a wrap. Appreciate you guys joining us. That's a wrap until Tuesday. Again, no show tomorrow. We will be back with you Tuesday. Special start time on Tuesday, 1 p.m. Eastern, noon Central, 10 a.m. Pacific, to break down the 16-game Frozen Frenzy slate. And then we are back with you at night for the first live betcast of the season, 6 p.m. Eastern, Tuesday night. Again, DM or email me or Alex for a spot on the betcast, and we'll make sure you get the link for the betcast before it begins. For a reminder, the Ice Guys is live 7 days a week, Monday to Friday, 2 p.m. Eastern, Saturday and Sunday, noon Eastern. If you can't watch the show live, download the Ice Guys podcast in audio form on all major podcast platforms, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Stitcher, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and more. Download the Ice Guys podcast when you can't watch the show live. For Alex B. Smith, I'm Ian Cameron. Have a great Sunday. Enjoy the games and good luck, and we'll be back with you on Tuesday at 1 p.m. Eastern time on the Frozen Frenzy for another edition of the Ice Guys.